Hello and servus from Bavaria. Have you ever wondered why there's so much talk about ChatGPT, about artificial intelligence and all the other things in networks, and nothing of that seems to happen in the textile business? My name is Stephan Kehry. I'm looking after the business of textiles here at Erhardt+Leimer, and I'm going to tell you how we succeeded in implementing this artificial intelligence into the everyday business of the production of textiles. And here we go. Textiles these days are produced mainly in continuous processes. However, the detection of the seams is a very, very important part of it, out of two reasons. First of all, we need to know when those seams might interfere with our production area. That means if a calendar roller or a digital printing head or something else is in the way of the seam, that might cause some collisions and some damages at the end of the day. And the other thing is that the seams, they mark the beginning and they mark the end of a special part of the textile process, and that in many cases is defining the start of a new production process, where we need a new recipe, where we need new parameters, and where we have to define everything at all. So whenever we have seams, they trigger something, and this artificial intelligence helps us to define those seams. The physics of seams, as I said before, is that they actually have an interruption of the textile surface. So when a textile surface normally is flat, the seam makes it actually a little bit uneven. And as I said before, that might cause some damages to your production units. And on the other side, yes, it's the beginning, it's the end. So whenever a seam occurs, that means something has to happen. My question to you: how do you detect your seams until now? Do you have a machine operator who's skilled enough and who is responsible enough to really define, okay, that's the seam, so let's do something? Do you have already a seam detector somehow, or don't you care at all? Please, if you have some answers, leave them in the comments, and that will give us some more information about the status out there in the production units of the world. If we link this artificial intelligence of the seam detection and QR codes together, and then that opens a brand new world of opportunities. Simply because we can now tell this part and the production unit what to do. For example, if a new lot might start with different parameters, this QR code can trigger the recipe management and tell exactly for this part you have to have other parameters, other chemistry, other temperatures, other pressures, whatever, all in once, and that goes totally automatically. That means no human errors anymore. That means also that you have better quality and finally a better transparency. That transparency these days is very, very important. And if you want, you can scan the QR code over there. That leads you directly to our landing page of the ELSEAMTEX. So this is what QR codes can do for you at the moment. We have talked about Industry 4.0. We have talked about Internet of Things. All those things, they need data. And with this seam detector, it is so easy to make that data transparent from your production process. That means for you, you don't have to care at all. The artificial intelligence of that seam detector, it will learn automatically what is a seam and what is not a seam. Especially when you have printed fabric, it might so happen that a printed line might look exactly like a seam, but it's not. With our seam detector, you have the 100% guarantee that a seam is a seam, and therefore you can rely on that information of this artificial intelligence because it also continuously learns automatically. And therefore we have a 100% security that with every seam there is a start of a new production step, and on the other side it gives the order to calendar roller the shearing knife or the printing head, that there might an obstacle which is actually damaging the fabric. And this is how it looks like. The seam detector, it detects, it reacts, it protects, and it helps you increasing the automation and the quality and the transparency. With that seam detector, you will be also able to create digital twins and to have a much better roll down of your production process every single piece by piece by piece. This is how you can start. We have already an app which is available in the app stores, Apple or Android, whatever you need. You can get it right away. It's free of charge. And with that app, you can already detect yourself whether the artificial intelligence is already smart enough to detect your seam or not. And if not, you can start to become part of the community and also contribute with your seams into the pool of information that we are collecting at the moment to make our seam detector even smarter. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention, and I hope that I see you soon in our community of artificial intelligence here in Augsburg. Thank you and goodbye.